So here are my winter sowing containers just opened. These guys wilted pretty much as soon as I opened the container. So I'm thinking I'm going to move them into the shade. Same with the mush. Now it could be because they were quite dry and I watered them. Maybe it's just because the leaves are wet. We're close to the noon hour sun here. Okay, it is exactly the noon hour sun. So these containers do sit in the sun. I'm hoping they're a little more resilient. Typically, like the spinach and the mustard, I wouldn't put them in the sun right away, but I do know that within the next half hour, the sun is going to already start. As you can see, the shade in my yard is already starting as the sun goes behind the building. So here I've got red Russian kale. I've got premier kale. Sowed another thing of spinach. Mustard was a little wilty. I gave it water. It's perking up. These guys were just like the mosh and the collards, or actually the chard. That the very first time I opened them, even though they weren't even in the sun, they wilted. Like the first 2-3 days, they wilted. Mustard, chard is actually quite good with sun. But the mustard, I'm not sure about the mosh. You know, the spinach. These are all early season crops. So my petunias in here, they're going to need some splitting. The iceberg lettuce was a failure. The pansies were a failure. And the lavender has not come up. Here I've got celery. I'm actually going to have quite a bit of celery, more than I intended to have. Here I've got collards. So these, the mustard and the spinach here, I've been hardening off actually for about the last week or so, week and a half. The rest of these, this is the first day open. So the collards, I'm not sure if I'm going to transplant them. I do have some larger cloches, so I might... The brassicas, I mean, the collards and the kales, I might plant them and put them under cover. My plan is to grow them. I've already seen a cabbage moth flying around, but once the cabbage moths start coming in full force, I am going to just be harvesting those and eating them. Last year I tried to battle with them, and it was a losing battle. I put a lot of energy into practically zero harvest in the end anyway. So, Swiss chards, looks like it's perking up already now that I've put it in the shade. We'll give the mosh a little time yet. Typically I would just put these in the shade. I wouldn't put them in the sun right away. So that's why I have them moved over here. Bella, she absolutely loves the patio stones in the sun.